Hey up, Chatter Gang. This is Benidorm Train Station.
And we're going to be taking you a walk down to the old town.
Because he's Colin.
He's Tim.
And together we are the Chatter Guys.
Come on, let's get walking.
We've just got back from a really lovely afternoon in Croatia, haven't we?
It was really nice. We was with our friend Drew, and we had lunch at the restaurant called Cabanon.
Cabanon, yes.
Cabanon. And it was in the resort of
Villa
Joycer,
yeah,
which is 10, 15, 20-minute walk from the train station in Croatia.
It's not far, is it? But yeah, it's a lovely little town. It reminded me a lot of Port Merion, you know, with all the painted houses.
Yeah, it definitely did have a different kind of feel to what Benidorm did. It seemed to be very popular with Spanish than what it were with English.
Yeah, not so many British people there. And the restaurant that we went with, for example, they didn't have an English translation of the menu, did they?
No, they didn't, and our friend Drew said that there were not many English bars down there, and we pointed out there were no sunbeds either, were there?
There weren't any sunbeds, no. What's going on there? The beach was lovely, but nothing to lie on.
You just have to excuse the construction that we've just passed. It's over with now, but it's quite amazing that there were all that underpass going off that they were building, and there was just a little steel fence between you and a big gaping gap in the road. And if it was in England, there'd be a 10-mile diversion going off, wouldn't there?
Oh, there would. Yeah, there was just like a little sign up saying, "Don't go any further, you'll fall down this hole."
It's same as when you're getting on the bus going back to Benidorm, and you'll see road repairs, and you might see 3 cones on the road before you see people working. And in England, we've gone to the point where you'll travel through 10 miles of cones before you actually see anybody start to work.
Yeah, that's true.
It's bizarre. But you can get to some really good places from the train station in Benidorm. From one of the lines, you can go to Denia, which we've been to. That's the furthest point you can go to, which in one direction, which we've been to, haven't we? In Denia?
We have been to Denia, but once you get there, it's a lovely train journey because a lot of it is right on the coast, so you're looking out to sea and there's some spectacular, lovely scenery. However, there's not a lot there in Denia, is there?
No, there isn't. We got off and we started to walk around, and then we thought we didn't know where we were walking, and there didn't look to be much there where we were walking. So we went back to where we got off the train, and we saw a little miniature train that you could get on.
Yeah, we thought, oh, this is going to take us around the interesting touristy bits, but it took us to an industrial park, didn't it?
It did.
We were really bemused when we got off. We were like, what's the point of that?
Like, why are we travelling around this industrial estate? It was the fishing industrial estate we were going round, and I'm like, there's nothing to see.
But we had a nice lunch, didn't we? And then we just caught the train back and enjoyed the scenery, looking at it the other way.
Yeah, there's not that many shops there. There's a couple of places where you can get a bite to eat, and restaurants. It looks like on a night there's a lot of fishing restaurants on the near the harbour. That looked to be quite nice.
But yeah, they were closed at lunchtime, weren't they?
Yeah, there were a lot of them. I would say if you went to Denia, you'd probably be a little bit disappointed.
It's probably worth it for the train journey if you like riding on trains and looking at lovely scenery, but you don't expect too much when you get there.
No, and if you're going on a long tram train journey, take a cushion with you because some of the seats can be really uncomfortable.
Yeah, the plastic seats, they are quite hard.
The other direction of the train from Benidorm, if you go on the full train journey, it will take you to Alicante, which we've been to a couple of times, haven't we?
We have. We spent some time looking for the Primark shop, didn't we?
We did find it in the end.
We did.
And you can get some different stuff than what you can in the UK Primark. So it's well worth the visit, and there's some really nice places in Alicante.
Yeah, you Primark fans.
It's the capital, and it's definitely worth a trip out. If you want to trip out in Benidorm, I mean, there's a lot of places to do in Benidorm.
It's a massive place, is Benidorm. We've been lots of times, and really we've just seen the tip of the iceberg. Really, we love the old town. We always try and stay in the old town, and we know that area really well. And we've been in the new town a few times. But say, for example, this part of the road here, we only ever come up here when we're going on the train, and it's there's lots of bars and cafes and restaurants, but they're more aimed towards people who live in Benidorm, aren't they, rather than the tourists?
Yeah, you'll see that in a lot of the cafes. There's no translation menus, so you probably have to speak a little bit of Spanish to get by here.
Yeah, but we're learning Spanish, aren't we?
We are learning a little bit. We've got the Duolingo app that we're using on a daily basis. I'm really they're really impressed on our last visit to Benidorm how much I'd actually picked up. It's really helped my confidence that. I know there were a time when we went to Croatia and I wanted to go to the toilet, and I asked, and I couldn't believe it, how it just come out. And the thing is, because I'd asked it so what I thought was so fluent, she responded back to me with directions of where I needed to go, and I didn't have a clue what she said. And that's the thing, if you speak a little bit of Spanish, they speak back to you in Spanish, don't they?
Yeah, because they think that you can speak it then, because if you speak one bit really well, they think you can speak the whole language, and quite often they speak at the normal pace, whereas we really need people to talk nice and slowly so that we can tell what they're saying. But I remember a time not that long ago when you were too embarrassed to even ask for the bill in Spanish. You didn't want to say la cuenta, but now you just don't think twice about it, do you?
No, it just flows off my tongue what I'm asking. It certainly does.
We're just going to pause the video while we cross the road because we don't want to take our life in our hands.
No, definitely not. Yeah, the part where we are now, it is very Spanish.
We don't really come up here, do we, unless we're catching the train.
No.
And there's lots of shops and bars all down here. In fact, considering how many times we've been to Benidorm, we actually know very little of the whole place. It's a massive place, isn't it? And we know the old town very, very well. We love it, and we like to spend as much time there as we can. And we've been in the new town a few times, but then there's all the Poniente side of it, and there's lots of entertainment on that we've not even been to see. We've been to the drag shows, which we like those, especially Café Clee. But then there's also karaoke bars. There's live entertainment in lots of bars, like singers and groups, and certainly lots of tribute acts. And we've not really been to see any of those, have we?
No, we went into Palladium one night and we saw Levi G, who's a very funny drag comedian, and she does a lot of fundraising for an animal charity. She's featured a lot in the Bargain Loving Brits in the Sun, and she were definitely worth visiting, weren't she?
Yeah, absolutely hilarious. It's very well known. And then there was a comedian on at the same time, wasn't there? He was really, really funny.
He was.
And the thing that surprised me is that it was free, and the drinks weren't any more expensive than anywhere else. Like normally, if there's entertainment on, either you expect to pay to get in, or you expect them to hike the price of the drinks up. But there wasn't any of that, was there?
No, it was totally free entertainment that we experienced. The comedian, if you remember, there were the woman who was on holiday from New York, and that caused a hell of a laughter from the comedian. Is like, welcome to Britain.
Welcome to Britain, yeah.
And we were just astonished. We were like, why is she come on holiday to Benidorm from New York? But I guess probably for the same reason as us, she was on holiday to get good weather and a good bargain, because the prices in New York are 6 times than what they are in Benidorm.
You would think, though, if you're travelling all the way from New York to Europe, you probably want to hit the historical sites. But no, she was in Benidorm.
And she was loving it. She was loving it.
And why wouldn't she?
But we want to try, definitely we want to try karaoke. So if anyone, one of our subscribers recommended a karaoke bar.
Yes, it's Nicola, and she recommended the black chicken. I thought it was called the black duck, but no, it's called the black chicken. So we're definitely going to try that out next time we're in Benidorm.
Yeah, and there's another one that we saw on our last visit, Yellow Submarine, in the Old Town, and that looked really popular for karaoke as well. So if anybody does recommend any other karaoke bars in Benidorm, please let us know, because we do love a good karaoke.
We could do a karaoke video. Compare all the different karaoke bars. I'm up for that. Write that down in the book.
I will jot it down. I will jot it down. And another thing that one of our subscribers has asked us recently is if we'd been to Benidorm for Festival Week, which is where the Big Fancy Dress Week is. I think it's the 2nd Saturday in November.
Oh, it runs over a few days, doesn't it? Because the Fancy Dress Day is the Thursday, and that's like a British tradition that, is it the Royal Oak pub kicked off? And it's just spread all through the strip, and yeah.
It's really popular. I mean, we watch Benidorm Enthusiast when I always look forward to carnival time, festival time, because she'll go around and she'll film everybody's costumes. And let me ask you, Tim,
Yes.
when we go, what's going to be our costume?
Let me have a think. I'll probably go for a superhero. If I've lost a bit of weight, probably the Flash.
The Flash, wow, and I'll tell you mine. I am definitely going as Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Oh,
You hear it now. I'm going as Wonder Woman. I've got my outfit in my mind. I've had the outfit in my mind for years.
well, I do remember when we had a boys' weekend in Blackpool, and we decided that on the Saturday night we were all going to wear T-shirts with superheroes on the front. And you were furious because I bagged Wonder Woman before you. You had to go somebody else, didn't you?
I did. I had to make a last-minute adjustment, which
We got over it though, didn't we?
We did. Now, we have been to Pride a couple of times in Benidorm.
Once or twice, yes.
Yeah, and that is if anybody is up for a good weekend in Benidorm, we would definitely recommend Pride weekend. They've got a fantastic Pride parade, and they've got lots of big events. They've got a black party, a white party,
which is not as racist as it sounds. The black party is where you wear all black, and the white party is where you're supposed to wear all white.
It is. And then when we went last time, our friend Drew, who you saw in a recent video, asked us if we were going to do Pride, and first of all we were like, no, and then he said, well, I think we should get dragged up. I've got just the shop to show you. And we were like, no. And he took us to the shop, didn't he?
Yeah, we just went along to humour him. We had no intention of dragging up. But then they brought out this red sparkly dress, didn't they?
They did, and you were like, I'm having that.
Oh, yeah, he just won over straight away. And you saw the same dress in black, didn't
I did,
you?
and I'm like, I'm having that. And these dresses were something like €6-7
I
each.
think they were about that. Might have been €8.
I've still got mine.
I've still got mine.
And I still look at it quite often.
Can't
and
get
think,
into it.
When will I be able to wear this again? But another friend come then. He got one. He got one in silver. Another friend went and got one in
Gary got one in purple, didn't they?
Yeah. And then another friend went and bought one in another colour. Yellow, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to post a picture up shortly because
There's
in
a
the
good
end,
dozen of us, weren't there?
there was. In the end, we looked like the Spice Girls.
Oh, you know, I'd say possibly better than the Spice Girls. You were definitely Victoria.
I was definitely Victoria. I wanted to be Victoria. We spent ages getting ready. Whilst we were getting ready, we must have had
We had a couple of bottles of Prosecco.
up 2 bottles of Prosecco,
So our lipstick was just all over the place.
And we were absolutely dreading going out. We were.
We were.
Oh, we were taking 2 steps back to every step going, climbing down the stairs to get out to that hotel. And why, I don't know, because as soon as we got out of that hotel and we started strushing down the streets of Benidorm, we were getting wolf whistled, we were getting people coming out and wanting photographs taken with us.
So many people asking for a
They
photograph
loved it,
with us.
didn't they? They loved it.
It took us ages to get from the hotel down to Levante Beach, where the parade starts off from. People just kept stopping all the time. I remember a group of schoolgirls gave us a Mexican wave as we walked down the street. I wanted to walk back again and do it all over again.
It was
Such
really
fun. That
good.
was the best day ever.
It was really good.
So good fun.
So we're just coming down towards the old town now. You'll probably start to see some places that you'll recognise now. We're coming down to the bottom where you've got the original Vincent's bar coming up shortly. That's one of his first places in Benidorm.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Right. I
yeah.
did not know that.
And we've been in there, haven't we? We were in there last year when we were watching Wimbledon, if you remember.
I do, yes. Yeah.
It's good for sports in there. It's good for sports.
Yeah, it's quite a big pub as well, isn't it? It doesn't look much from the outside, but once you get in, it's like going into a big cavern.
It is. Here we're coming up to it now on your left hand side, Vincent's. I spin round and let you have a look at it and here you go. There you go, that's the original Vincent's in the old town. This bingo hall there, look, bingo.
That's another thing we've not done in Benidorm. We've not been to play bingo, have we?
No, and there's
Anywhere else in the world.
There's one here, and I can vaguely remember there being the one just underneath the
Glass Bridge.
glass bridge, yeah, near Bristol Park. I remember seeing a bingo place there.
Oh, right.
Do you think they'll shout the numbers in Spanish and
think-
English?
I don't know. I was just thinking, if you win, do you think you shout casa instead of house?
Oh, if you know, let us know. And also, is Benidorm a town? Is it a city?
Well, we had a debate over this, didn't we? You insisted it was a town, and I went, it's far too big to be a town. It must be a city. So we Googled it, didn't we?
And as you can see, yeah, and it used to be a small village, fishing village, so it's been a lot of things.
But Google said it's not only a town, it is a city and a municipality.
A municipal. Okay.
Yeah, leave it to me.
As you can see from the last sign that we saw, it was a very nice. Well, it said 32 on the thermometer, but I don't think it was 32. I think it were about 25, wasn't it? It was
I don't think
nice.
it was that hot now.
Very nice.
We hope you enjoyed that walk along from Benidorm Train Station down to Dove Park.
We did, but if you do like the video, give us a thumbs up, and if you don't want to, if you're new to the channel and don't want to miss out on any of our future videos, please subscribe, because it'll cost you
Absolutely
not.
Let's watch and chat again. Hasta luego.
Adios.